What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome to Fresh Comic Stories. Guys, this is the channel that we basically sit down and cover different kinds of comic book stories. Now, guys, today we are going to jump back over to Marvel Comics. And matter of fact, we are going to continue our coverage through the Ultimate Marvel Universe. And we're going to pick up with Ultimate Spider-Man, The Amazing Friends. Yes, you heard right, the Amazing Friends storyline. So, guys, if you do like this video right here, well, hit that like button down below and also subscribe for more comic book stories like this in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read? Well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I do hope you enjoy this video. So the story opens up with a few pages kind of giving us a review on the new status quo for certain characters in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Like, for example, Peter Parker. He's right now at home trying to study but having a hard time staying focused, mainly because he keeps remembering the death of his best friend, Harry Osborn, who died in our last Ultimate Spider-Man video. We then get a page about Kong, who is the best friend of Flash Thompson, but we see him trying to get himself ready for the day when he asks out Kitty Pryde, just establishing that we are going to see him and her dating soon, but also he tells us that he knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, which has been hinted at throughout this whole series. We then pick up with Mary Jane, and this is where we see her working her part-time job. This was established a while back, but is again something minor being retold to us once again. Now, this is where you have Liz Allen appear, who is the best friend of Mary Jane in this universe. Now, something to remember is that Liz Allen hates mutants. Like, she hates them with a passion. Matter of fact, her uncle is a mutant, but we never learned what had happened to him. But the reason why we are focusing on Liz Allen right now is because she has been saying she has not been feeling so good and wondering what is wrong with her body. The story does not reveal anything right now. We then pick up with Johnny Storm, and we see him on a date with someone, except his date is ignoring him, and he's trying to figure out why she's ignoring him for, because he is the Human Torch of the Fantastic Four. We find out that she was ignoring him because she was trying to get the paparazzi to get a photo of her and Johnny for her public image. We also get a page about Kitty Pryde as well. And we just see her still struggling with the fact of her being back in public school, no longer being with the X-Men anymore. But we are seeing her trying to deal with this new life. It is a huge struggle for her though, because people keep looking at her because she is a mutant. After we get those reviews on where each character is at right now, we pick up Peter Parker and Mary Jane the next day at school, where of course they are looking for a normal day, except that is when they look up and see Johnny Storm there. If you remember a while back, Johnny Storm actually went to school here for like a day and then quit. But he came back here because to him, Peter and Mary Jane are his friends, and so he is bored and wanted to see his friends. That is when he sees Kitty Pryde as well, and he knows of her because everyone knows the X-Men. This leads to Iceman arriving at the school as well, like this is some kind of superhero meetup, where you have him go straight to Kitty Pryde to catch up with his old teammate. Now remember guys, back in our Ultimate X-Men videos, these two dated, and they were off and on mainly because Rogue was always leaving the X-Men and coming back. And so there is a little bit of bad blood between the two of them, but it's him trying to talk to her about how everyone misses her and wishes she can come back. That is when you have Johnny Storm leave the group to go catch up with Liz Allen. Because back at the time Johnny Storm was attending the school, him and Liz Allen seemed like they were on the verge of dating, except it did not work out when she found out that he has powers, leading back to the fact that she hates mutants even though he is not one. But we see him able to convince her to give him one more chance and actually try to go out with him and the others involved in this superhero meeting. And so you have Johnny Storm, Mary Jane, Peter Parker, Kong, Kitty Pryde, Iceman, and Liz Allen all agree to go to the beach as one big group. This leads into the night part of their time at the beach, where we see them just chilling around the fire and having a good time. Except this is where things begin to fall apart for them, because that is when you have Liz Allen start to feel some kind of pain coming from her body. That is when her body starts to light on fire in the same way the Human Torch does. This leads to us getting a new character in the Ultimate Marvel Universe, which is Firestar. And this is a huge difference between the two universes when it comes to the character of Firestar. Now, in the original Marvel Universe, Firestar is actually Angelica Jones, whose powers were really that she can create flames around her and fly. That was really it. But also the fact that if someone else came up to her with fire, she can still be harmed by it. Now, Liz Allen, on the other hand, is basically a female version of the Human Torch. Her whole body can be covered up in flames, and she can produce her own flames as well. And so you have the two characters both being Firestar, just one's body is covered up in flames and the other one is not. This leads to Liz Allen just freaking out and start flying all over the place. And so you have Johnny Storm go up there and try to help her out, where of course he's not able to calm her down. But you then have Bobby Drake go up there, and luckily by the time he gets up there, Liz Allen now found power shut off and she needs someone to catch her, which ends up being Bobby Drake. Now this leads into the big discussion, what is Liz Allen? Because once everybody has regrouped, they ask the big question, is Liz Allen a mutant like Bobby Drake and Kitty Pryde? And you have Liz Allen preach the fact that she is not a mutant, because her hate and fear of mutants is having her play the denial card, where you have everyone trying to help her out and tell her that you are a mutant, that your powers have manifest, and it's something you have to accept. Now, in the middle of this discussion, Johnny Storms dips out and leaves because he got a call from the Fantastic Four. But after he leaves, you have the rest of them try to continue the conversation, except it leads up to where you have Liz Allen just leave. Of course, you have Bobby go after her before she gets into any kind of trouble. Now this leads to the moment where you have Kong finally tell Peter that he knows that he is Spider-Man, because you have Kong tell Peter that he needs to go after Liz Allen to help her out. She's going through something new that only he could help her through. And at first, you have Peter Parker play the I don't know what you are talking about card, except you have Kong just keep pushing and pushing to the point where Peter accepts the fact that Kong knows that he is Spider-Man, and you have him leave to change and go help Bobby Drake with the Liz Allen problem. This is where we pick up with Bobby Drake trying to talk to Liz Allen and have her calm down to get her newfound powers under control, since she is having a hard time controlling the direction of where she flies to. Now you have Bobby Drake being able to calm her down and get her powers back under control so they can have a legit conversation without freaking out the entire city with them flying around. This is where you have Spider-Man appear, and this is where we see him begin the conversation on what she should do with her powers, because once someone powers manifest, it leads into them having to choose a path of being a good guy or being a bad guy. And so you have Spider-Man trying his best to persuade Liz Allen to become a hero because she has powers that could help people out. Where he usually throws out the "with great power comes great responsibility" speech, you even had the idea of Bobby Drake saying if she is a mutant, then she should come with him to Xavier's school. Now remember that Spider-Man comic books don't match up with what is happening in the Ultimate X-Men books like they should. And you will see what I mean here in a minute once we get to the last chapter of this story. But while you have Bobby Drake and Spider-Man trying to convince Liz Allen to be a good guy, that is when you have Magneto appear to ask her to join the Brotherhood of Mutants. Now with Magneto being here, it makes sense because he is trying to recruit people into his group, which you do have Iceman and Spider-Man try their best to stop Magneto, which is kind of funny because you are talking about someone who can make ice and a guy with spider powers trying to take down someone who can control metal. And so you have Magneto just throw Spider-Man and Iceman around like they are not even a challenge for him. It is pretty funny because they do try their best and Magneto wraps up this battle in a matter of seconds just so he can continue talking to Liz Allen. Where you then have Magneto explain why he is truly here for, that Liz Allen is a mutant, but also the fact that her father is a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants. And this leads to the question, who in the world is Liz Allen's father? And so you have Magneto try to explain that she needs to join him and how he can show her a better world. The usual bad guy speech when they are trying to recruit someone. Except you have Liz Allen so unsure about Magneto that she just runs off to be left alone, which it does make sense because a lot has happened to her in this storyline. And so this leads to Liz Allen going home to her mother, where of course her mother finds out about her daughter. Now this is where Liz Allen learns that her mother knew about the chance of her becoming a mutant. And she explains that Liz Allen's father is a mutant and he did join the Brotherhood of Mutants. Now Liz Allen continues to ask more questions about her father and why her mom would hide something like this. Even when Magneto's reappear and trying again to recruit Liz Allen to his crew, the focus is on who is her father. That is when Liz Allen's mother explains that Uncle Frank is her father. The man who she thought was her uncle is really her father. Now I will tell you who this Frank person is because once I tell you who it is, you guys are going to flip out who is the father of Liz Allen. Except this is where you have the X-Men appear. And as you can see, this is the X-Men team before Xavier died. Because I'm guessing that Brian Michael Bendis was not reading Ultimate X-Men around the time this story came out. But anyways, you have the X-Men appear acting like they are about to beat Magneto right now in the middle of a New York neighborhood. Now there is no fight between the two of them that we know of because Liz Allen flies off to get away from everyone, but the story continues to follow her and see where she goes to next. And so we see her go to Mary Jane's backyard, where of course it makes sense because these two are best friends, where we see Mary Jane just trying to comfort Liz Allen because this girl has gone through a lot in a few hours. That is when you have Spider-Man appear and once again try to comfort Liz Allen over the fact that her powers have manifest. This is where Liz Allen realizes that it is kind of strange for Spider-Man to be here in Mary Jane's backyard and Mary Jane is acting very normal about it. That is when you have Peter reveal to Liz Allen that he is Spider-Man. But he continues to explain to her how when he got his powers, he wanted to do good for the world, but also continue to have a normal life as well. That is when you have Iceman appear and basically give her the offer to join the X-Men, which of course she takes the offer and joins the X-Men and leaves with them. Now to close the story though, we pick up in the Savage Land years ago, where we pick up with Magneto meeting up with the character Blob. Now Blob powers are basically that his body mass makes him unmovable and the fact that he is very durable as well. Now this is where we learn that Blob is the father of Liz Allen, because he goes to Magneto about a request where he asks Magneto, when Liz Allen powers do manifest, can she come here to the Savage Land? And you have Magneto say yes, only because she is a mutant. It means someone else on his team down the road for his cause. And this is where we are going to end today's video. So guys, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe for more comic book stories like this in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here and I will see you on the next comic book video. Later guys.